if Prince Harry lied on his application, he would face up to 5 years in US prison and also deportation if he were to be in the United States at the time. And so these are very serious federal criminal offences if he lied on his application. So all we're asking here is for the right of the American people to see exactly what Prince Harry put down on his immigration application. It's as simple as that.
He's about to be chucked out of the States.
That's just to be deported from the US. That's quite a fall.
Harry and Meghan are two of the laziest, narcissistic people on earth. If you commit a federal crime, you are never allowed back into the United States, actually. And so I have to say that I do believe that this very important issue of Harry's immigration records has been an important factor in the background of the Sussexes' decision to leave the United States. It's one of several key factors that are in play. After all, this is a very sudden surprise decision.
Say that
Even the King did not know about this until last Sunday.
There is a room in Washington with 307 files in it, about 2,500 pages, every one of them about a single man. 18 have been pulled off the pile and read so far, and all 18 came back refused. The man they are about is Prince Harry. Now here is the bit that should stop you where you stand. This is a man who sat in front of a BBC camera, freshly beaten in court, and told the world he could not see a world in which he brought his wife and his children back to Britain. That was his line. Not safe. Never would be.
He took Meghan and the kids, they came over privately to see the King a few weeks ago. When she said, "I'll never set foot in this country again," and when she said the royal family is racist, and when she slagged off almost every bit of the institution, why does she still want her daughter and son to be a prince and princess then? Part of a racist institution.
9 days after a foreign government started reading his paperwork, he had those same children enrolled in British schools. 9 days. You do not move 2 small children across an ocean in 9 days over homesickness. You do that when something behind you has started moving faster than you are. Lady Colin Campbell has been sitting on this for a fortnight, and she has finally said out loud what everyone else has been tiptoeing around. Why the rush, she asks. Why has all of it been done so precipitately?
And what people are feeling about this couple is they don't want peace in the royal family. They don't want the King to offer olive branches. They don't want William and Catherine to forgive and forget, because this pair of ingrates, this pair of grifters who went over to California, first thing they did was start giving interviews calling the royal family racist, and by the way, calling everybody in Britain a racist slave driver. So after that, we're not going to pay for them, and we don't want the King. We don't really want peace in the royal family. We want the King and William to tell this pair where to get off.
Then she answers herself, in that voice of hers that could strip paint off a door, the danger of handcuffs. And I don't think our H likes handcuffs. Over in America, they are not even pretending to be sorry about it.
It's interesting that all of this dovetails with the feds coming after Harry for having possibly falsified his application forms, because I don't think that they would have moved quite so quickly and quite so decisively had they not discovered that the feds that he stands a chance of being arrested by the feds and it's very serious. I have to look at my notes to refresh my memory, but it's like several years in prison. If he is found to have lied, it's a federal offense, and I think it's 5 years in prison, mandatory. So, and it doesn't matter who you are, and it doesn't matter what your visa is, it is mandatory.
Megyn Kelly went on air and named it. 2 important self-deportations, she said, that can finally unite the whole country. First thing anybody has agreed on in a decade. Another one sat on camera with a cigar and sent his condolences to King Charles. Condolences to the father on being sent his own son back. We already told you what sent them running. That part is done. Nobody has told you yet what it costs him. The paperwork did not stay behind, you see. It has a number on it and a court date attached. And there is one question on that application he has already answered in public. In print, for money. He did not come home. He ran. And America has quietly locked the door behind him.
The turning point for this really happened with Associated News Limited. This was, of course, the big Daily Mail case that Harry believed he was going to win. This, he was told, was going to solve everything. He was the dragon slayer. He was going to have so much money. When that didn't work out, that was the final decision. What I can tell you first, though, Ainsley, is you will notice it's all about Harry returning back. Meghan remains very silent, and I've been told from an excellent source, rather, shall we say, concerned about not only a welcome over here in the United Kingdom, and I think that's a bit harsh, but you have to say everything she's done has actually turned to dust.
Cast your mind back to the man who called himself a dragon slayer, said it on a stage, out loud, to applause, the wounded prince who is going to walk into the royal courts of justice and clean out an industry. Here's the scoreboard. 46 days in court, 43 journalists dragged into a witness box to answer for what they might have known, 97 separate accusations thrown, 97 of them on the floor. Not one, not a single one landed. And the judge who threw them out used a phrase that will follow him into his obituary, unreasonable to a high degree. That is the dragon slayer.
Basically, you know, they can frame it any way they want, right, Ainsley? The bottom line is they're back, broke and busted. It didn't work. The idea hasn't come along. And the really turning point that a lot of people should look at in this long-going narrative, and you do not believe that this only happened on Sunday. You do not organise schools and all that sort of stuff. This has been going on for a long time, right? I mean, you know, as a mum, it's not easy, right? So this has been going on a long time.
And now look who has picked up the sword. A think tank in Washington, not a tabloid, not one of the wicked British papers he has spent 6 years blaming for everything. A think tank, and they have not written a polite letter. They have sued 2 federal departments at once, Homeland Security and the State Department, 307 documents, 18 reviewed, 18 refused. The man leading it, Nile Gardiner, once worked for Margaret Thatcher, and he does not do breathless. He calls it the biggest, most high-profile American immigration case in decades. Not this year, decades.
This is the biggest, most high-profile US immigration-related court case in decades in the United States. It's attracted a huge amount of attention in America. And all we're calling for, Kevin, is accountability and transparency here. No one should be above the law. Did Prince Harry lie on his US immigration application over his drug use? Was he honest and truthful?
In which case, why was he allowed in?
Yeah.
Under the last administration, he says, they fought us tooth and nail. Now the department is handing things over. Refuse again and it goes back before a federal judge. And he expects to win. So the man who wanted everybody else's paperwork opened is now the man whose paperwork is being opened. I ask you, every note, every invoice, every phone record he wanted read aloud in a courtroom. And the only filing cabinet that ever mattered had his own name on the tab.
The State Department,
yes,
in terms of your long legal battle to reveal the details of his visa application, where you're now at is the State Department is reviewing that, and say how many documents are involved?
Yeah, so they have nearly 300 documents that they are reviewing. They've reviewed an initial 18 documents which they declined to release. There are in total 307 documents and close to 2,500 pages relating to Prince Harry's immigration application. We are calling for the release of all of those documents to the American people. I've also called for President Trump, for Secretary of State Marco Rubio to support the release of those documents.
Lady C put it in one line, and it is the cruelest sentence written about him all year. He was going to be a dragon slayer, she said, using forgeries and faked evidence. The dragon slayer has been handed a court order and a filing cabinet, and there is nobody left he can sue about it. Brass neck, the lot of it.
Prince William was completely blindsided by this. He's the future king. And so this is an extraordinary decision taken by the Sussexes. And, you have to ask, why have they made this incredible decision? After all, they are monumentally unpopular in the United Kingdom. They're increasingly disliked, of course, in America as well. But this is a shock decision by them. So there must be something in the background with regard to why they made this decision. I do think the visa issue is an important issue overall in terms of, the key factors involved in Harry and Meghan's exit across the Atlantic.
Here is where it turns genuinely mad. No leak, no insider, no anonymous friend, no source at all. Every American visa application asks the same thing. Have you used illegal drugs? Tick yes. And for the overwhelming majority, the answer comes back no, you are not coming in. That is the whole bloody system.
Here's the issue. In America, I've done it myself, used to live there myself, you have to fill out a visa form, a visa application, and the big question is, have you taken drugs? Have you been convicted of drugs? If the answer to any of that is yes, then you don't get in.
Ordinary people get turned away on that question every day of the week. The box he ticked is the whole ballgame. Nobody needs a source for the answer either. He published it himself, put it in a book, sold that book in 12 languages. Cannabis, mushrooms, the lot in print with a price on the back, and paid handsomely for it.
So, Harry writes this book, Spare, in which he admits to copious use, illegal use, cannabis, mushrooms, all that. And that begs the question, well, what did you put on your visa form, Harry? Did you say, no, I've never taken any drugs? Because if you did that, you have lied on your visa application form. That is a federal offence in America. It's a very serious offence. Or did you put on your form, yes, I've taken drugs, which would beg the next question, well, why was he allowed in?
Nobody hacked him. No one doorstepped him. Nobody hid in a hedge with a long lens. He typed it out, took the check, and did a publicity tour about it. And think about the order of events. He sued 3 newspapers to stop strangers writing about his private life. He told a judge his wife's life had been made a misery. Then he took the single most private thing about himself, wrote it down, and put it on a shelf in every airport on Earth. Most people who have done what he has done have the sense not to publish a memoir.
You don't get to allegedly be setting up pap shots and leaking, and then on the other hand want to claim your privacy has been breached and you are the victim. The only victim in this case is Harry's bank account, because he will be picking up this bill, and I have no sympathy. Hypocritical prince.
Gardiner has never once accused him of anything, and that is exactly what makes it land. He simply asks the question over and over in that flat Washington way. Did Prince Harry lie on his immigration application about his use? Was he honest and truthful? Work it through, and only 2 answers exist. Either he wrote it all down, and somebody in a government office decided a prince was worth waving through anyway, which is its own scandal entirely, or he did not. There is no third door, no version where the application and the book say the same thing, and everybody walks away whistling.
The reality, the vast majority of people who admit to illegal use are not allowed into the United States. And so did Harry lie? Was he given preferential treatment in order to enter into the United States? These are important questions. No one should be above the law, and that includes members of the royal family.
Draw your own conclusions. The most lucrative deal of his life may turn out to be a confession he was paid to sign.
So Nile Gardiner said 100% as far as he's concerned, Harry's come back because it's very close to the point where his alleged lie on his visa form will be revealed. If he lied on that, that will put the American authorities in a very difficult position, because that's a felony offence that carries a 5-year jail sentence.
Say the second answer is the one sitting in that file. Here is the bill. Gardiner has spelled it out and not softened a syllable. Up to 5 years in an American federal prison. Deportation had he still been standing on American soil when it landed. And the part that matters now, that he is not. Permanent exclusion. Never allowed to set foot in the country again. Not a fine, not a quiet word from a lawyer. Never again. Everyone has skated straight past this bit. It is the bit that turns a departure into a trap.
And the stakes are very high for Prince Harry. So if it is revealed that he lied on his application, then he would not be allowed back into the United States. And so there are very significant consequences. Even if Harry remains outside of the US, there are big future implications for him. Basically, he would never be able to set foot back in the US, actually.
Bit like his uncle Andrew, right?
Yeah, yes. So, if you...
half the royal family banned from America.
Yeah, if you...
Lady C, 40 years of watching people try to outrun paperwork, put it like this. Once the American authorities know you have falsified documents, that does not disappear after 2 days, or 3, or 5. That is on your record ad infinitum. Somebody asked her straight out whether he could be arrested at an American airport. She did not hedge for a heartbeat. Oh, absolutely, she said. Absolutely. You cannot sue a filing cabinet.
They were dealing with the fact that Harry was living in the United States of America. So I think she and he are hoping that by ostensibly moving back to the United Kingdom, that is going to preserve him from arrest.
Now, this is the part that should bother you, and it has nothing to do with drugs or applications. For 6 years, we were sold a tale. A brave, sensitive man driven out of a cruel country by a cruel press, building a safe life somewhere warm where nobody could reach his family. Look at what that tale is worth this morning. The Netflix money is gone. The deal trumpeted at $100 million was nearer 60, and it has shriveled to a first look with no money attached. Her jam and her tea sat unsold until Netflix put the surplus out on card tables in the office for staff to carry home. $10 million of it, free, on a trestle table by the lift. Her film was beaten at the box office by a compilation of cat videos, beaten by 74% on fewer than half the screens. Cats.
Because the dynamics have changed. They don't have any amount of money coming in. Let's remember, all the money that came in was basically as a result of Harry. Meghan may have cut the deals, but Harry's existence is the one that made the deals possible. So the Netflix deal was originally, and it was never, as you and I both know, $100 million. But the fact of the matter is, it was a nice, tidy sum. And so then you had Spotify. Everything, and Spotify was supposed to have been Harry and Meghan, and it failed miserably when it was just Meghan.
Elton John has not said a word from the day he lent them his house in the south of France, nor the Clooneys, nor the Obamas, nor Oprah. The Kardashians will not stand next to them. Their own neighbors are delighted to see the back of them. That is the safe life they built. That is the empire. 6 years of all of it. And the moment it came under one administrative threat, the whole thing folded in 9 days. Not a stand, no fight, not one word of defiance from a man who has never shut up in his life. He simply got on a plane.
I think that had there not been a financial problem, there would have been less of an Meghan would have had no motivation to come back, but she needs to come back with Harry, because she can't be separated from Harry because she's not making money on her own.
Totally. And as we've always said, there's no other billionaire lining up. You know, she is damaged goods in a whole load of ways. So she has to cling on. She has to swallow her pride. And this is a woman who, above anything else, is strategic.
4 years he spent fighting his own government over a security ruling. High Court, Court of Appeal, lost twice, and still would not let it go. He has not filed so much as a paragraph about the file in Washington. I mean, honestly, there is a word for the gap between how a man fights when he thinks he can win and how he behaves when he knows he cannot. That word is not courage.
I have been fed information starting on the 12th of August, which I have kept stum about because I felt it was irresponsible of me to do anything in terms of revealing what was going on. Harry and Meghan, it's all cock and bull. They're not moving back to the United Kingdom because they want to. They're moving back to the United Kingdom because Harry is endangered as a result of the feds.
Now we come to the date, and the date is everything. The 11th and the 12th of August. Lady C read it out on her own channel. From a message she says reached her on the 12th. The State Department had spent the previous 24 hours going through his visa documents. Not in general. The question held against his own book. Then she did something that makes it considerably worse for him. She sat on it. For 8 days she said nothing. Her words, and you can hear the steel in them. I could have been singing like a bird from the 12th of August. I haven't sung like a bird.
Harry and Meghan have understood that if they didn't jump, he was going to be pushed. And they could not afford the embarrassment of him possibly being arrested. While now, if he's no longer living in America, I think they are hoping that the whole thing will go away. But as long as he was living in the United States, it wasn't going to be going away.
Count the days out on your fingers. 12th of August, a government spends a day reading his file. 16th, his father gets a telephone call. 19th, the rest of us find out from a newspaper. By the end of the month, gone. 9 days from a filing cabinet in Washington to removal vans in Montecito. I went back to the calendar 3 times over those 4 dates, checking I had not muddled the months. I had not. Convenient timing that. And the official version falls apart the second you put weight on it. The king only found out on the Sunday, they say. A phone call on a Sunday.
Well, he knows he has a finite time on this planet. I don't believe that he's ill. I don't think he's got a dramatic change in his health. He's got scheduled appointments coming up. But he does realise that he's not in remission, and he's living with cancer. And so it probably focuses his attention on trying to avoid a house divided being a house that falls. This is the point.
The head of state of the United Kingdom told his grandchildren we're changing countries. The way you learn a delivery slot has moved, except the children were already enrolled, signed, placed. Robert Jobson, 30 years inside this story, demolished it in 4 seconds. It cannot have happened on the Sunday, he said. You could be Mick Jagger. You cannot ring a school and say my children are joining you on such and such a day. There are procedures to follow. Somebody, at some point, filled in applications for 2 British schools. Good grief. That was not done on a Sunday afternoon.
Well, I think it's about money, and I think it's about position. I think it's sad that they're using, in a way, the children in this respect. What it means, I think it means that Harry is going to try to inveigle his way back into royal duties long term. It's the only way that they're going to get full-time royal security. I think the kids are a little bit of a pawn in all this.
Then the pressure came on, and this is what their side put out. A friend, no name attached, told a gossip site the decision was not any one thing, but that Harry's visa is not a factor. Read that sentence again and look hard at what is missing from it. Nobody said he was honest. No one said he answered the question. Not a word about there being no file, no review, no case. They said it was not a factor in the decision. Entirely different sentence, and the only one anybody would put a name near. On one side, a named man at a named institution with a live case, 2 federal departments, a document count, and a court date. On the other, a friend who would not give their name, briefing a blog. Make of that what you will.
I've been saying for a long time, Harry knows that the window is closing because the moment that George comes of age, which is in about 5 years' time, Harry is a goner. This is his last window of opportunity.
There was a second tale, mind you, and it is uglier than the first. That friend was busy telling people the visa was not a factor. At the same time, his team were telling American outlets this was about his father's health. A son coming home for a sick dad. Lovely, very moving, sold beautifully in the States.
If Harry is coming back and there's going to be security, he's got to be on the inside of the tent, not the outside of the tent. Number one, he's got also to be apologising for what he has said, not only about the king and about the family, the betrayal, but about his brother. He's got to apologise and do it publicly and also apologise to the nation. I mean, according to him, our country was unsafe for him and his wife to be in. Now, all of these things have got to be done. You can't just wander back, make out you're the cheeky chappy act and do a few silly things, because we do know, don't we?
Now, Angela Levin wrote his biography. 15 months of rooms with him, notebook open. She liked him, has said so publicly, and never taken it back. This is no enemy. This is a woman who gave him the benefit of the doubt. She heard the line about him coming home to be near his father. Here is what came out of her. Honestly, it is just a disgusting lie. His own biographer. On camera, disgusting. She went further, and she knows that household. The king likes to know what is coming 6 months out, she said. He likes time to think. They gave him 3 days. Why? She asked. Would you do that to somebody who was really, really kind to you? And we already know what that pair think of the older generation. He was asked about his father directly, on camera, given a full moment to answer the way a son would. He said he had his own family. Oh, do behave.
I am completely and utterly on William and Kate's side. The reason that I am that is William, because he was steeped in the importance of the royalty, the monarchy by his grandmother every Sunday. We know he used to go from Eton to Windsor Castle for lunch. He saw what it did to his grandfather, what happened when his grandfather was dying. crying when the Oprah Winfrey came out. He watched what it did to the wonderful late Queen with Spare and the decision she had to make. And more than anything, and you know this better than me, a lot of the BS that surrounded Kate's sort of disappearance emanated from friends and sources near to Harry and Meghan. They didn't stop it, they encouraged it. And if your partner was suffering from cancer and somebody in your family was pushing rumours around that there were other deeper reasons, I couldn't forgive that. And all those people are jumping up and down saying, oh, William and Kate need to forgive and forget. No, they've done nothing but play correctly and behave impeccably. And the other two have not.
Now the king is living with cancer. He has never been in remission. His treatment goes on, and that part of this is not for laughing at and never will be. Robert Jobson put it plainly, and it is the one sad sentence in the whole business. The king knows he has a finite time. He wants his sons in the same room before the inevitable happens. And that, right there, is the door Harry has walked through.
I mean, William can't stand Harry. Nor can Catherine. They despise Meghan and Harry. Camilla hates them both. Princess Anne, Prince Edward and Sophie also absolutely detest these people.
Jobson does not read it as a kindness. He reads it as a catastrophe in language royal correspondents do not use about a sitting monarch. A huge mistake by the king, deeply damaging to the monarchy, extremely dangerous to the institution long term. Then he said the thing that stopped people in their tracks.
They don't believe the king is doing a good job. This is a big error. I was a monarchist. I'm a monarchist no longer. This is extremely dangerous to the institution long term. And those around the king, a lot of them are leaving. There'll be more that will be leaving. I won't say who.
He added, almost as an aside, the line that gives all of it its weight. I do not criticize him very easily. Sit with that a moment. The man who wrote the king's biography has just resigned from believing in the crown, on air. Over this, Tina Brown is blunter about the motive. A last run at staying royal, she reckons, before his father dies and his brother rules them out for good.
What have we always said? The biggest risk, P. Dinah, for Prince Harry is to want to leave that woman while they are in California, because she would get custody of the children and he would not be able to return. So there is a lot going on here, P. Dinah, and I think a big part of this is Harry preparing for his post-divorce world, where he has the children in the United Kingdom. Because guess what? He's stupid, but when he reads in Vanity Fair, confirmation of a report that I first made, Pete Dinah, that his wife is shopping around a post-divorce autobiography, surely that's when you wake up and you say, I can't stay here. I can't stay here. She is setting me up.
So he's forcing her. He's forcing her hand. I'm going back with the children. I agree. This is why it was so sudden. This is exactly why it's so sudden. What's Meghan going to do if Harry says, I'm going back with the kids? What is she going to do? He has every legal right to go back with these children. Meghan doesn't want to go, but now her cards have been played. She doesn't have a chance now, because now this is going to be on UK soil.
So put the two clocks side by side, a file in Washington with a court date on it, a father in Scotland who signs the invitations. He is not running to a bedside. He is running to a signature, and he needs it before the pen changes hands.
Tash, I want to show you first how the mainstream media are putting what I believe is completely unfair pressure on Prince William to change his stance. And I think William's stance, by the way, is the only responsible stance. That's my view. I'm very unhappy with King Charles's stance. But look at this, for example, from People magazine, leaked directly, of course, by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. And the headline is, Prince Harry's UK move is the best opportunity to heal the rift with Prince William. Exclusive source. We know who the exclusive source is. Okay, so we know this is Harry and Meghan using People magazine directly to try and apply pressure to change William's view. And this is coming all over the mainstream media, but I just thought it was one of the most egregious examples.
A presenter worked it out loud on air last week, half laughing. Half the royal family, he said, banned from America. He meant it as a joke. It is not one. There is already a prince in that family who cannot get on a plane to New York. Lady C has been explaining why for years. He did not dare go. A prosecutor over there fully intended to have him picked up the moment he landed, so he stopped going. He stayed on the estate, a man with a very large house and a very small map. Now there may be a second. Gardiner does not dress it up. Commit a federal offense, he says, and you are never allowed back into the United States. Not in 10 years, not on appeal, Not ever.
The king has got to be careful here.
Yeah.
He is being too soft towards these two.
I agree. And really, I think that the Prince of Wales should have a major deciding say in this as the future king. And Harry's behaviour, Meghan's behaviour has been absolutely disgusting. I mean, they're coming over to the UK as though they're the royal equivalent of sort of small boats crossing the channel, aren't they? And there'll be
it's our migrant crisis from America. Yeah.
It is a new migrant crisis with Harry and Meghan coming over.
Two princes, one continent, neither able to land. And here's where it turns on her. And my word, does it turn. She has an American passport. She has the house and the friends, the agents, the whole life she built out there. Whatever is sitting in that file, not a page of it touches her. She could be on a plane in the morning and nobody would stop her. His paperwork trouble is over there. Hers is over here, and it is the funnier of the two. The immigration people say nobody has ever established she finished the British residency route she started in 2017. So look at the arrangement Madam has ended up with. The children are in British schools, the husband is in Britain and may have no way back out. And the one who dragged them all across an ocean in the first place is the only person in the family free to leave, and their own camp is not even pretending otherwise.
They are very, I would say, nefarious, dangerous people in terms of the damage they want to inflict upon the royal family. They care only about themselves, and they cause a huge amount of distress and discomfort for the Queen, for the late Queen.
And Prince Philip. Those two made the final years of both Prince Philip and Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II hell. You know, and that's wrong. Those two people were in their 90s. Both of them, their last years were painful because of this couple.
This is unforgivable, and when they do end up in the UK, they should be put into exile, frankly. They do nothing for Britain. They hate Britain. They have been immensely destructive people, and they should be kept as far away from the royal family as possible.
Lady C's phrase for what is coming is a Prince and Princess Michael of Kent arrangement. I go south, you go north, still officially together. Tom Bower will not even call it a move. 6 years ago, he stood on a stage and promised to go and kill dragons for us all. 97 claims lost. 2 court cases against his own government, lost. And now the country he chose over his own family may never let him back in.
This pair of ingrates, Harry and Meghan, have plunged the royal family into an existential crisis. So far, I don't think the king is handling it well, but he better get it right, because this could be very bad news for the royal family if the king doesn't judge the mood of the nation right. We don't want the king to forgive and forget these two. We don't want William and Catherine to forgive and forget. We want them to be taught a lesson for calling us all slave-driving racists.
Everyone has spent the week asking why on earth they came back. Wrong question. Ask why he cannot go anywhere else. He told a court his wife's life had been made a misery. He told a camera he could never bring his children home. Not ever. This country, he told the world, was not safe enough for them. Then he answered one question in a book for money, and it turned the only country that ever really wanted him into the one place on earth he is not allowed to stand. She can leave whenever she likes. He is home for good. So watch the date on this one. The next ruling on those documents lands within weeks, and if the answer is the wrong one, no press office on earth can spin it.
There's this real sense that they think that they are above everybody else and that they don't have to behave in this. The rules don't apply to them. That surely Prince Harry would be treated differently because he's Prince Harry when he's in America, even if because he obviously didn't think, I better not mention that, better not confess that in public.
This is Star Spotlight, and we will be here the day it drops. So tell me in the comments, do you think he filled that application in honestly? Or do you think somebody waved him through over who his grandmother was? Drop your verdict below. I read every single one. Hit that like button. It helps this channel reach more people who care about these stories. And subscribe. There is a lot more coming this week. The next one is already written. 60% of this country have just been asked what they make of all this. And they gave an answer nobody in the press expected. You will want to be here for that.